Hello, good morning. In this revision series of essay standards on auditing, now we will come to a special series of standards on auditing, auditing specialized areas. In this regard, we will take into consideration of one series, SE 800 series. SE 800 series deals with audit of financial statements prepared as per special purpose framework. So SE 800, what is the name of SE 800? Name of SE 800 is special considerations, audit of financial statements under special purpose framework. So as we have already discussed, what is the definition, what is scope of the standard. If you want to discuss about scope of the standard, first we have to see there are two types of frameworks. First one is general purpose financial statements framework and special purpose financial statements framework. General purpose financial statements framework deals with financial statements which have been prepared as per the general needs of the users of financial statements. Then it is general purpose financial reporting framework. General purpose financial reporting framework is again divided into two categories: fair representation framework, compliance framework, as it is may be, and special purpose financial reporting framework. Special purpose financial reporting framework is been designed to meet the general financial information needs of specific users. Then it is special purpose financial reporting framework. Special purpose financial reporting framework also divided into two categories: fair representation framework and compliance framework. Now, what is the in this standard SA 800 scope of the standard? The first we have to discuss about scope of the standard. Here the auditor has a responsibility to audit the financial statements that have been prepared under special purpose framework. Special purpose framework. Now the standard includes? The standard includes three categories. First one is acceptance of the engagement. Second one is planning and performing the engagement, and third one is preparation of forming an opinion and reporting in respect of the engagement. But auditor will never give the audit opinion on the effectiveness of internal control. There is no responsibility on the auditor in this regard. Now we will comes to second one is acceptance of engagement. Considerations that are required to be taken into account in respect of acceptance of engagement. In this regard, first one is the auditor has to see whether specific users of financial statements is important. That is, here this side rating tells what this consideration tells that while accepting the audit of engagement that is involved in special purpose financial report, where the financial statements have been prepared as per special purpose framework, the auditor has to see whether the financial information needs of the specific users has been taken as priority, and it is important or not. Next, another thing is important or not. This is first criteria that the auditor has to see before accepting the framework, before accepting the engagement. Second consideration is whether this is first consideration. Second consideration is in respect of what we say, totally five considerations are there. Six considerations are there. First one is specific users of the financial statements. Specific users of financial statements is important. And next, accounting standards. Accounting standards has been recognized, authorized and recognized. Here the auditor has to consider whether the accounting standards that have been the standards that have been involved in the financial statement that have been prepared under special purpose framework involve or includes the standards that have been authorized and recognized by the standard setting organization in order to promote the standards of the financial statement that have been prepared under special purpose framework. And auditor has to ensure that The financial statements have been the auditor has to ensure that financial statements have been prepared in a transparent and fair and transparent manner, and all the views of the stakeholders has been taken into consideration. Second criteria, third attribute is it serves the needs of the specific users. Whether the financial statement that have been prepared under special purpose framework serves the needs of specific users or not. This is the third criteria. This is the third criteria. So mostly the three other attributes are there which I could not able to remember. I have to look into it afterwards. Next comes to third topic is related to planning and performing the engagement. Here once we have accepted the engagement, then we have to take into then we have to go to planning and performing the engagement. In case of planning and performing the engagement, the auditor has to consider, first one is compliance with standards on auditing. As per SA 200, the auditor has to comply with ethical requirements including independence. So auditor has to comply with all the standards on auditing that are applicable to the engagement. Third one is auditor has to see third thing is auditor has to see forming an opinion. The auditor has to see there is no responsibility on the auditor to form an opinion on effectiveness of internal controls, and compliance with all standards on auditing. Wherever possible, the auditor has to comply with all standards on auditing from SA 100 series to 700 series, wherever it is applicable and practicable. They might be deviation from the standards on auditing if there are any circumstances which poses the auditor to deviate from the the standards on auditing in order to meet the requirements or the needs of the specific users of the engagement or purpose of the engagement. Then the auditor can deviate and present accordingly. Next, the auditor has to as per while performing the engagement, the auditor has to as per SA 320 the materiality in planning and performing the audit of financial statements. So the auditor has to set the materiality limit as per SA 320, and in the before performing the engagement. Here, in respect of the financial statements that have been prepared under any contract or regulation, as per the contract, the materiality is already set, where the amounts which are up to the materiality limit might not be rectified and corrected. But this does not relieve the auditor from his responsibility of setting materiality limit for such type of engagements. Next, third one is here the auditor has to such type of engagements in respect of SA 700, the auditor has to report in respect of audit. The auditor has to report and form an opinion as per on the financial statement that have been prepared as per special purpose framework, and there might be situations where the auditor might see the requirements of we have seen the requirements of SA 320, and we have to see the requirements of SA 260, that is communication with those charged with governance. Here the auditor has to find the responsible party with whom the auditor has to communicate. There might be situation that auditor might all the those charged with governance has been involved in managing the entity. Then the auditor has to find the responsible party to whom the auditor has to report or auditor has to communicate. Next, these are the main points in respect of planning and performing the engagement. Next, forming an opinion and reporting in the, of the engagement. Here, what are the considerations that the auditor has to consider while forming an opinion and reporting on the engagement? Here, the auditor has to see whether there is a need. Here, the auditor has to report on the prepare a report as per prepare a report for special purpose financial statements which have been prepared as per special purpose framework. Here, the auditor has to describe first thing is the auditor has to cast the responsibility not responsibility if the management is involved in the preparation of financial statements, then auditor has to the auditor has to state in the responsibilities of management paragraph that the preparation of financial statements as per special purpose framework is the responsibility of management, and in that also the auditor has to mention separately that these financial statements have been prepared under special purpose framework, and the audit report that the auditor is providing cannot be utilized for general purposes, and it has been utilized only for the specific uses of the specific users only. And there might be situations that the authority or regulation might use the audit report for the purposes for other than the purposes for which it has been intended. Then in that situation, the auditor has to restrict the users to utilize this report for general purposes by mentioning clearly that the financial statements have been prepared under special purpose framework and it is utilized only for specific purposes only, and specific purposes only. Majority, these are the main points that we have to see in respect of audit of financial statements under the special purpose framework. In next standard, we will discuss SA 805, that is special considerations, audit of single financial statement, specific item, specific element, amount or accounts of the financial statements separately. For the time being, let's wrap up this standard. So there are there are totally four steps in this this first one is scope of the standard. Next, special considerations in respect of acceptance of engagement, special considerations in respect of planning and performing of engagement, and special considerations in respect of forming an opinion, reporting on the financial statement, reporting on the financial reporting. Thank you. Let's meet in another revision video. Bye.